Siemanko wszystkim, witam.
Oh, how cute. They're engaging the X-42 giant robo-scorpion. Let's see the shrapnel fly.
Law-abiding citizens, please leave the area.
Ah, there's our victim. You can't avoid the deadly laser sting. Let's make this. Crush them with your pincers. Wait for it to come to you, my pet. An intruder is here. This is a prerequisite. An intruder is here. Let's make this sporting. Ah, there's our victim. Pitiful. Is this thing on? This is Mobius. Dr. Mobius. We're initiating some kind of emergency test shutdown. In 5, 4, as in forbidden. 3, as in tree. 2, as in two Brutus. 1, as in none. Oh look, the emergency overload is initiating. Oh, hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing a little hard to see you. Can you walk into my... Depth perception is a problem with this old... Should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. Would you care for... I love mint. I have all sorts of amazingly science... I forget them all not long after, though. Especially... Had to start using the dome floor and walls here. Really? That implies preconceived notions, theories, and a hypothesis about the... After all, it might be worth the cognitive... Oh, a variety of reasons. You're something of a homily. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed. If you were to go back with what your brain could be popped back in and you could walk... Oh, curiosity. I experienced that. The ghosts aren't real? That changes everything. Why, please be my guest. The receptor is the... Oh, yes. Well, every scientist needs an army. Mine... How scary, I thought. But they had some... Then I thought, what if they shot energy bolts? Then I thought about custard. I do so love... I find things... Oh, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when... So many chems, such varieties. As for the Psycho, sometimes get the chem dispositories in... Did I? Maybe I did. Can't I? You and your brain are quite alike. Dr. Mobius. Rather cat. This name's as real as you or I. Someone's been watching too many old-world science fiction. I must admit I have a vulnerability for holotape fantasy. Like the think tank, we were all Now, trap is a rather harsh word. But, yes, I did, I certainly didn't until you... The radar fence to keep the think tank hemmed in wasn't really enough. I suspect I have plan C's in place, but I may have so I had to do something else to keep them occupied here. Oh, you figured it out. No, Dr. O, which is actually not his real name multiplied. Since you can't multiply, they have all forgotten themselves. And not... I reprogrammed their chronometers, geometry. It was a merciful lobotomy, really. And the world isn't ready for that kind of too far... Really? It is so unlike... Well, it's simple. Despite their many failings, they are... Without something to distract them, make them a... Then you came along, the final variable There have been other visitors to make them doubt their perception. You were irrefutable proof that there was a world... See, your brain had a special kind of wrinkle. Yes, very good. In any event, you showed up at the think tank. Bullets in the head are usually much more, but it was enough for the auto dock in the sink to that gave the think tank the knowledge its brains should. If they obtain that procedural data, they can use it, and once they're on, I consider coincidence to be profanity. My threat broadcast is designed to instill. It prompted them to focus on, and coincidentally, pardon my language, or the X2 antenna can be used to focus your alpha wave and the sonic sound wave projecto emitter. In short, brains, a heart, and courage. Spine. They had them all the time in the story. Yes, my overly aggressive cammed-up broad. Oh, and the... But I couldn't delete you or your arrival anymore. You're really quite difficult to ignore, you know. Oh, that means my plan is a total failure. Yes, yes. Now, that seems to be rather Your brain is here, say... Do you? You seem... And does it even want to go back with you? Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it... Yeah. Indeed. Floor space for my calculations.
No doktorek ma tutaj tych kurwa mentanów. Chyba se lubi przyćpać.
The neutron. These songs connected to the proton.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. Ah, lovely. Yes, well, believe me, the opposite is equally true. Good Lord, have you bathed at all since... Well, that's a complete... After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity... I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensitive. I'm quite sure whatever he did... Well, as long... Oh, had I? What exactly will you do if I don't? Not put me back? Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one... I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go char... And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Fun? Fun? Is tetanus fun? The things you do with our body are suicidally dangerous, and if you could silence your glandular I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect... Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safe. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly... Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? generated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat oozing homo. I suppose you're right. Indeed, quite the conundrum. How... I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the... Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your... Unfortunately, before we get to that... Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius... We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I... And you believe them? Really? I know you will once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the home... And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy... Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we say... Ha! Thinking with... Right! Look out, think tank! This brain is coming out of its jar! I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them... Right then, off we go! Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't...
They said I was mad! Preposterous! Oh, I hypothesize after the indignant frequencies my receptors had... If I recall, I had a plan that was working, whatever it was. I don't think it reached fruition. I wasn't trying to kill them, just keep them out of trouble. Blast, I probably wrote it... Something ingenious and needlessly complicated. I forgot I had forgotten pencils until one day I found one. Well, you could try and appeal to their humanity. That's a tired cliche. Well, there's many things they have forgotten sitting in their bowls. Much like your brain, I am certain there is something. A wise man once said, or if not, you can always make them succumb. Then you came along, and bravery and or desperation. Oh, tell them I'm still alive. We had a night. Or you could kill me and if you are partial to lying and deception, well, you could tell them they're more than a little gullible. Better make it convincing, though. And if you speak of me, please try and make me look good.
What's the hat? What's the What's the hat? Get you.
Might I be of service?
Za chwilę wracam.
lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Is Dr. Mobius... I recommend watching your tone with me, Lobot. Now, your brain. Hand it over. And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. Nonsense! Confer, colleague.
Dr. Klein, I must intersect.
I'm not going to harm it. I'm going to dissect it and...
I cannot stand a sweet breathing organism.
Gala, these vocalized...
Klein, this lobotomite is a great sounding board. You respect idea?
Silence, Dr. O. This is a thing...
You know what, Klein? Stick a straw in your tank and my name is Zero.
The slash as a...
The lobotomite taught me that. Taught me a name is more than... You know what? Forget it, Klein. I hate you. And your theory of brainial...
How dare you? Brainial beam oscillation was so... It's too... Why are you acting like this? You've never refused... A noble speech, but there's no room in my vocabulators for... Perhaps you are irradiated with camaraderie radiation. We have If I may, I feel as if This lobotomite is much like us, regarding even animals. Instead of ending its life on the table, we should prolong its suffering. Why am I even listening to you fools? Enough. And the word jism, which never made any sense to me. It's ridiculous putting j and z. I count as 5. Like the mighty human hand I want. You are lying. Why would you reason with that man? A fight? Colleagues, think that...
Fire.
No to kurwa.
The lobotom... Nonsense! The mathematics of this situation are on our side, lobotomite. If this were a democracy, I would be concerned. You dare you... That's no deal at all! There's a whole world! We could have escaped, seen it all for ourselves, tested it. For you? I have a strange sensation. Very well, partner. The think tank... As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others, which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The Sync Central Intelligence Unit was impressed by the amount of exploration the courier had undertaken. Facilities believed lost, destroyed, or ones that had simply gotten up and walked to new locations had been rediscovered by its intrepid new master. Internally, the artificial personality debated as to whether it preferred the old management to the new, and concluded that the courier's thorough approach to research and investigation was admirable and worthy of its respect.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The Sync atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant, and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The Sync continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy, except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain. from Sonic Invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
Dr. Klein and the think tank remained alive, unaware of the world outside. They looped through their daily routine, none the wiser about the world beyond. Although perhaps wiser was the wrong word. The world outside belonged to the courier. And if anyone would shape it, well, the courier had already called dibs.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was. Eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, old world blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone. Might I be safe in the assumption that matters with the think tank have been...
So you beat the big brains at their own game, huh?
Final area against my plan.
Electrons attached to the... I'm having the most peculiar Why, of...
Dobra, to koniec tutaj.
Welcome, sir. Come back. Welcome, sir.
No to dopiero trzecie DLC, za chwilę zaczynam następne. To ostatnie. I później wiesz, dalej fabuła, nie?
Welcome, sir.
To jest chyba najlepsze to DLC, co będę teraz robił. Tak mi się wydaje. Ono jest takie w sumie najciekawsze. Bo to Sierra Madre to mi się nie za bardzo podobało. Kto ją tam wysadził? Ten, kurwa. Czy ona w sumie? Przechuje. No, w sumie to pobawiłbym się chwilę tym pistoletem. Z ciekawości, jak on będzie się sprawował. Bo tu dzisiaj zrobiłem spolszczenie do niego. No, zobaczymy, jak on w ogóle będzie sobie radził. Ten miał ile? Ten miał 59. Ma 55. No zobaczymy. Pochodzę z nim trochę. Bo mam amunicji 44 do niego dokupić. Ale zobaczymy. Co to za lepianka?
Hey. Welcome, sir.
sir, or... Come. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Welcome, sir, or...
Howdy, friend. Heard my little broadcast, did you? Yeah. The job is simple. Help us get this caravan into Zion and find New Canaan. The pay is 25 caps. You'll get a bonus if we make it into Zion. Plus another bonus if... Oh, one more thing. Don't mention the name Joshua Graham to any... Just don't. It makes the New Canaanites powerful uncomfortable, and it scares the Brits. Don't talk about the Burn Man either while you're at it. Trust me on this one. We're a smaller company out of Sacktown, up in the northern part of the NCR. We run some business through New Reno. They're on the Little Loop. Had a nice run to Salt Lake City, too, but then we lost contact with New Canaan. And you ain't wrong. Losing the Salt Lake City run really stung us. If we can't re-establish contact without New Canaan's mission in Zion, the only ways to Salt Lake City are down the old I-80. The highway's too risky. NCR's rangers are so busy here in the Mojave, they don't have... Ogden's just too far. We'd lose more in traffic. Don't know much about the place, but I can tell you about the people. The New Canaanites were some kind of... They control the old city of Ogden, a ways north of Zion, and they trade a fair bit with the tribes in Zion. Well, I ain't a praying man myself. They paid for their goods and dealt square with us. That's all I ever cared about. But don't think that just because they're religious,
O,
that
siema,
they're
Black.
pacifists. They take...
No co cię wypuścili, tak? No to zajebiście.
Nope. Hence this caravan.
Ale zasiedziałeś się
If we
tam.
don't make contact with the New Canaanites... Well, I ain't never been inside myself. Did some trading with the New Canaanites from their mission. All the old ways in and out were destroyed after the war. But that's why I wanted someone with a Pip-Boy on the caravan. The map will be... Well, it ain't good, I'll tell you that. It's not like the Mojave or the NCR. You got raiders all over the damn place. Tribes of degenerates that'll eat you. Not too many decent places to stop and trade. New Canaan's one of the only... They're about what you'd expect. Crazy. Jacked up on chems. The worst of the 80s. But we won't be passing through their turf on this run. Dangerous enough we won't be going near them if we can help it. I got no desire for my... That's right. The folks that lived in Zion before the war, most of them don't even speak English anymore. The ones you really gotta watch out for are...
Looking to join this caravan, huh? Earning my keep. Jed hired me on it. The work suits me. I've tried. Grew up in New Reno, and I couldn't put that snake pit. Then I wound up wasting the prime of my life playing sheriff in Caliente. You ask me, best to keep moving. At least the scenery. Imagine New Vegas if there was no Mr. House-type fella keeping the peace. Then give everybody a... Town's run by a bunch of crime families. No law to speak. The scuzz factor's off the charts. Non-stop whoring and drugs. So I got my ass out of there while I still owned it. Guess I figured the answer to... Place lived up to its name, that's for sure. When you got fresh water and a trickle of... Spent more years and took more bullets than... If it wasn't the 80s or the white legs raiding... Got tired of shooting the folks I was supposed to protect. So, now I... What's the difference? Raiders is raiders. Bunch of them swept into town and dragged off 2 working girls. By the time we caught up with the girls, there wasn't... Made it back to Caliente without further losses, but we was watched the whole way. If the 80s had wanted to kill us, we would have been dead. Used to be they raided northeast of Caliente time to time. But soon enough, the Whitelegs were swarming all over that stretch of I-50. Eventually, the Whitelegs destroyed the bridges across...
Howdy. Hey there. The NCR took back Nelson.
Prim has a new sheriff.
Maybe they can win this war
That should keep
after
the
all.
powder gangers away.
You looking for trouble, bud? I got plenty to... Hey, fuck you! You want to know what I do, bud? I'm one of a kind. I've been places, see? And when it's time to kill shit up, hell, something or someone make the mistake of In fact, that's... how you think? I shoot things in... Why, once I got jumped by 3
Szczęki śmierci.
death jaws. Except, actually, it was 4 of them. But I didn't panic. Because I never panic. No, you heard me right. Death jaws. They're like death... Or there was the time one of them Steel Brotherhood assholes made the mistake of... What's it sound like I'm saying? If I was saying what you said, I was walking along, minding my own, and up... So I hand it over. Just to make him think I'm scared. Before he knows what hit him, I draw my 11mm machine gun, and bam! Bam! Then I guess this dumb fucker's armor must have been... All I know is... Well, I grew up near Dayglow out west, so yeah, I grew a third nut that glowed... Nice job, Eagle Eye. Of course I got a pit boy and a... Where the fuck you think? Vault 2-2. I know everything. I know all about it. I have a sworn vow of secrecy, or something like... Well, yeah, okay. I may have been exaggerating a little. Truth is, I got this suit and the pit boy. Guy was dead when I found him, okay? Had a ton of shit on him. Sorry. The shit I do with it is so far over your head, be wasting my... Basically, it makes me badass. More badass, I mean. Jed says it's got maps, shit like that. So that's how I'm... Huh? Of course I... Me? I'm so used to wearing mine, it's just normal. Go ahead. Your word against mine. Hey, why you gotta go and be... Look, this is a sweet gig for me. Don't go... Fine. You win, asshole. Enjoy leading the expedition.
Damn good thing you came along. Now that Ricky skedaddled you... I bet you are. But you ain't going nowhere loaded down like a pack Brahmin. All right. I reckon you know your limits. You keel over on me out there, though, and I'll leave your ass after we take it. You ain't never been to Zion, have you? We'll be passing through a hole. A big pack will get you wedged in like a super mutant crawling through a storm drain, and too much weight will kill you. I bet you are, but you ain't going... You ain't never been to Zion, have you? A big pack will get you wet.
You looking for trouble?
Kurwa, jeszcze raz muszę z tym pogadać. No tutaj trzeba z tym obciążeniem, właśnie, kurwa.
Damn good thing you came... All right. I reckon you know your limits. You keel over on me out there, though, and I'll leave your ass after we take everything useful you crammed in your pack. I bet... There's a chest over...
To ja mam tyle gratów, kurwa, przy sobie. Ja pierdolę.
Something on your mind?
Prim wimps out and accepted NCR rule. Some people will do anything to...
You looking for... I travel light on purpose, okay? But if the price is right, I'll tell Jed I'm carrying less. So... You got a deal. You're lucky. Hey!
To już tutaj było.
Bullshit! Look, this is a sweet gift. Fine. Just keep it to yourself, all right? God damn it! I didn't say nothing, but, just talking...
Are you here to I bet you... You ain't never been to Zion. A big pack will get you wedged in like... There's a chest over yonder. You can store your extra in that. It'll be safe as can be until you get back.
Yeah, what's it this...
Kurwa, ja mam tyle gratów przy sobie.
Hey there.
Matko Boska. Tak, znaczy to co mnie znieważy, to wiesz, że zostawię. Temu też dam obok, niech trochę niesie. Dam mu pancerz. Chociaż ten pancerz mu nie powinien dużo ważyć. Faktycznie mam tego w chuj. Zanim ja do 100 zejdę, o kurwa. To mogę zostawić. Bo tam chyba będzie do jakiegoś questa potrzebny. Dokładnie nie pamiętam, ale to prawie nic nie waży. Cały chuj. Waży 20, to dobra. Waży 23, czyli spoko. Sztabka złota, o, to też widzę sporo waży. Nie, to co? No to nie przeszkadza. Podkładam, później wiesz, zabiorę i chuj, nie? Ła. Tutaj widzę też. Ja lubię takie mody na udźwięk, bo mogę, wiesz, nosić wszystko przy sobie, nie? Jak mi coś jest potrzebne do jakiegoś questa, to nie muszę, kurwa, latać za tym do skrzynek, przynosić jak głupi, wiesz. Mam przy sobie i chuj. Ja nienawidzę udźwigu w grach. O, już jestem poniżej setki. 85. To jeszcze mógłbym w takim razie, gdzie to jest? 55 Elia nie to. O to. No to ma fajny damage. Miałem akurat pod trójką. Dobra. Wszystko, co potrzebuję. A to nie, to tutaj później, wiesz, to jest ta skrzynia właśnie na przechowywanie gratów, nie? Później przychodzisz i zabierasz sobie, jak skończysz DLC-ka.
Yeah, what's it this time?
Are you here to jaw at me? Are you now? You know we ain't coming back this way for... I don't want no whining about old Mr. Masterson. You sure... Well, all right then. Let's get moving. We got a long road ahead of us.
To jest chyba najlepsze DLC. To i to z Ulyssesem. Później to z tymi naukowcami, no i Sierra Madre na końcu.
A few decades back, folks in the NCR started to hear about a community in northern Utah. called New Canaan. Didn't know much about them, except that they were religious folks, sent out missionaries to talk to the tribes. We've seen our share of cults, but the New Canaanites, they were honest traders. Good fighters, too. Raiders wouldn't tangle with them. But then, the Legion appeared in Arizona. I reckon you know all about them. Turns out Caesar's first war chief, the Malpace legate, was a New Canaanite, Joshua Graham. Legend goes that Graham was the meanest, toughest son of a bitch in the whole damn Legion. The New Canaanites wouldn't talk about him. They were ashamed. Guess I can't blame them. Well, at Hoover Dam, the Malpace legate finally met his match. Hanlon and Oliver kicked his New Canaanite butt right back over the river. Caesar had to make an example for the others, to show them that even at the highest level, failure wouldn't be tolerated. He had Graham covered in pitch, lit on fire, and thrown into the Grand Canyon. People say he didn't even scream on the way down. Not long after, some of the slaves and tribals started to talk. Said Graham wasn't dead. Shouldn't have been any surprise. All this talk bothered Caesar, so he forbade anyone from speaking his name. Wanted to erase Joshua Graham from history. He got his wish. Joshua Graham disappeared, and in his place came legends of the burned man walking the wastes. Probably just a tribal ghost story. But New Canaan's been silent for a long time. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe the Malpace legate is dead. Or maybe Joshua Graham did crawl out of that canyon and finally found his way back home. All right, people. Been a long couple of weeks.
Ale fajna
But
miejscówka.
here we are. Zion. I know your feet hurt. I know you're tired. But I need everyone's mind on the trail ahead.
Ain't the trail ahead worries me, Jed. Those descents we made through that slot canyon back up there. Ain't no way we're getting back out the way we come. And then what?
God damn it, Stella heard you the first time. And the 15th, too. The New Canaanites will know a way. And if they don't, we've got the maps on our friend's Pip-Boy over there. Enough lollygagging. Get moving. And keep an eye out for tribals.
Sorry to bother you with reality, old Jed.
I tak, zaraz was
Who cares if
odjebię.
we can't get back out the way we come? That's not a problem.
Shh. Hold on now. Could swear I heard something up ahead. God damn it! Ambush! Cover people! Watch yourselves!
I don't deserve this. My people don't even work. Why the fuck you hire me?
Holy shit! Stay low, people! Stay low! Stella! No! She died.
Posiłek z bielunia. No, wezmę będzie na wymianę.
Hoy, white legs don't leave survivors often. You're some kind of lucky, let me tell you. You came from outside, didn't you? From the civilized lands. Wow. Joshua will want to hear about this. Joshua Graham. He leads our tribe. Thanks to him, the dead horses are strong and safe from our enemies. He'll want to talk to anyone coming up from Southways. Guess that means just you now. Come, I can take you to him. Good sists. We head east then. Joshua is at our tribe's camp in the Eastern Virgin. What can I tell you? Mostly it's the mountain bighorners. Whole herd of them up on the cliffs there. Usually they're not too aggressive, but lately, whew. My guess is one of the calves got lost somewhere along the way. Bighorners are communal. If that calf doesn't turn up soon, they might... Yeah? Hey, thanks. Just one thing. Try not to kill any bighorners if you can, yeah? You'll drive the herd off and we'll have to range farther. You might try luring the baby out with some banana. That's great.
A, juka bananowa, o właśnie, pozwolę tego nazrywać. To gdzieś rośnie tutaj ogólnie, tylko jak to wyglądało. A wygląda to kurwa juka bananowa. No to jest to.
What can I tell you? He's been the chief of our tribe since he came back to the valley. He went off to the civilized world years ago to... You see his face, you'll understand. I don't know. He doesn't talk about it much. Maybe. Ha! Really? That's... my gods. Now you sound like Joshua. He always tells me that tribal life is better. That I should stay here and forget the outside world. White legs. Nasty bunch. That's what Joshua said. White legs came down from Great Salt Lake in force. fell on New Canaan before they could... Joshua found some of the survivors led by a man named Daniel. Most of them. He and Joshua have been arguing over whether to stand and fight the Whitelegs. That's the weird part. Normally, the Whitelegs keep to the Great Salt Lake. I don't know what brought them down this far. Our advanced scouts leave chalk signs to mark places rich with game. I'm not a full scout. Dead horses mark ourselves to commemorate our hunts. When a hunter takes a great beast, or when a... We came up in the land of the dead horse, though why the back when folks called it. We raided, we fought, we lost. When Joshua first came to us, he was servant to a man he called Caesar. Then he lost his master's army to a tribe called NCR, the Sunset People. When he returned, he led us away from Caesar. Led us... If it wasn't for Joshua, the dead horses would still... He taught us how to hold our territory, to protect ourselves. He guided us away. Little bit. I met some of their missionaries a few times, but I've never been to their city. Joshua could tell. We decorate our clubs with them to honor Joshua Graham. They were the... Can't say they seemed that dangerous to me. But... Only a little. I was very young. He was... different. Prouder, yet when he came back, I almost didn't believe he was the same. Well, because they're our enemies. What else would we do? They take our land, they... They don't have anything as nasty as Yao Bai out where you take a closer look. There might be some good stuff tucked in there. follow this path for a while. Nice view of the river. Look, I'll show you.
Dobra, ja będę kończył na dzisiaj. Także uciekam. Dobranoc i do jutra. Trzymajcie się, papa.